Premier League is finally back this weekend, and so we are. Welcome to another episode of Football Corner Pod, wherein we talk about all things football. I'm Harikeshav, and along with me is my trusted friend and co founder of the channel, Amog.
Hi.
Hello, Amog. It felt like a long break, even though there was some internationals played. Nobody cares about international football. So it's good that Premier League is back. But as you can see, we also have not one, but two friends of the channel today joining us, Soham and Ashwanth, both diehard Chelsea fans. Welcome and nice to have you on the pod as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Uh, So let's dive into this episode quickly. So in today's episode, we will preview the games from the upcoming Premier League Game Week 12. So let's dive into the episode and start the podcast with Game Week's first game, that is Chelsea away to Leicester. So let's take it away. Just to start this conversation, Chelsea fans, no wins in the last three Premier League games. That is two draws and one loss. So, is there some testing times for Maresca? Is there something that you would like to see change?
Yeah, it's easy to look at the numbers in terms of the draws and losses that have been there. But honestly, I think it was Chelsea's toughest period in terms of facing Arsenal. As much as we hate to admit it, United. And it was that period where it was defining. There's a game against Newcastle as well. So it was that period where with this youngest team in the Premier League, can they step up? It was a show of strength and character. If you compare it to obviously every team's precursor is going to be how they did the last year. When you compare it to the team that was playing in the last year, I don't think the moment we went back, we would have never really found our ways back in. So there is some strength and grit to this team. You're starting to see signs of that. And now, it apparently, until I think almost till Jan or Feb, we're not facing any proper major team away from home. Or a tough game is yet to show up on our radar for a very good period of time. So I'd say this is make or break time for Chelsea to actually show that they're more than just expressive football. You can break down the smaller teams. It's okay if you don't beat the big guys, but at least keep beating every small guy. You should be fine. So lots to look forward to. It's a very defining period.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's, if you're looking for momentum in the season, I think this is where it kicks off for us. Like initially, Maresca took a few games to settle down, to instill his style of play. People tried to press us. I remember the game against Wolves and Brighton; they come to mind, right? They were pressing us a lot, but eventually we overcame that. We scored quite a few past them. And then we also saw that we were struggling to break down low blocks in Forest, right? And then, of course, we had this tough run of fixtures. And it's like number three in the difficulty rating as well, is what I saw in some statistics. I think, yeah, so now we do have a very good run of games. I think the only tough fixture in the next 5 to 7 games is against Villa. So I think this is where we have to show that we are serious about Maresca, and Maresca also has to show what he can do against these low blocks here, because people are going to sit back when they visit Stamford Bridge. They've seen how Nottingham Forest got a result here, and also I think I can't remember one other team where we made a draw with. I think Crystal Palace it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good times ahead. I think if we can get back to that goal scoring form, we've also lacked a few goals in the last few matches, I would say. So if we can get that goal scoring form back, then it would be great.
Brilliant. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about was before you guys joined in, I was talking to Amog regarding Sancho. It is my understanding and also everyone's understanding that Sancho is injured. But there was a very good start to his Chelsea career. He was getting assists every game week, and even Amog was thanking me in one of the podcasts for selling Sancho to Chelsea or loaning him. But things have not gone according to plan. Is it just the injury? Has there been any other? Is there more to it, or is it just purely injury? Because as from someone who's seeing from the outside, I always feel that Sancho is someone who does well with a manager who's quite his friend rather than being a strict disciplinarian. And unfortunately, the coaches that he's had in United and also Chelsea looks like they are strict disciplinarians as well. So, is it just an injury? Is there more to it? You can shed some light. That would be great.
Mm. I can't help but think there is a little bit more to it. It just came out of the blue. There was no news about it. He was just suddenly dropped by Maresca for initially a couple of games, and then it just went on with these tough fixtures. I guess he didn't want to bring him back in or something, and then finally,
No, actually, it was not. It was supposedly he was ill. They didn't even
yeah,
say he
yeah,
was injured.
I
He
was
said he
about
was
to.
ill. Yeah.
Yeah, when a reporter asked him specifically, right, like when why Sancho is not playing, he said he's ill. So maybe it started. It's difficult to say, speculate, but maybe it started off as something, but there was also some illness in there, maybe.
See,
Uh,
but if I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you ask me, I'd say how quickly are we judging him again, man? Like it's I know he's had this ever since he was star boy at Dortmund. He's had this, oh, the world is at its feet. Big expectations, even if it's not in terms of price, at least in terms of output. So he's had that air of negativity, like trailing him for whatever X reasons. From United, he's come to Chelsea and great start. So people quickly forgot about what it was, and now they're back to again the same square. I'd say compare, like actually see what Sancho's offering on the pitch. I don't think for
Hmm.
let's say he's done 5 appearances or something so far, 5 or 6, and at least half the time he's given an assist. He's not yet scored, which is a decent start for a guy with that kind of a back energy and stuff. I'd say if we have an issue to actually address over here, if he's not even showing up on the pitch, or if he's showing up on the pitch but not actually like giving output, that those are the kind of situations where we can see. See, the team is 3 games out of which two supposedly he was ill and one he was ineligible to play against United anyway. So I'd say
Correct.
the sample size is too small, and I think the competition for places is insane. Mudrik is just probably
Absolutely.
20 times better when he comes off the bench. But when the man starts, he forgets how to dribble or knows does forgets how to pass. So it's just a different kind of mentality that you have whenever you're starting out from the bench. So I'd say there's a lot of competition. You have to cut him some slack, at least maybe until Christmas period or till Jan. Then we see how much he's shown up or what is the situation like.
no, and
I'll tell you what he's doing. So he
Hmm.
hasn't played a single minute since Call of Duty got released.
yeah,
Fair.
Oh,
And GTA is still to come.
we should only give him half your contract then.
So, anyways, what Ashwin said was perfect. Like the competition in the left wing is too high for us. And talking about Leicester, Chelsea, I think we need to bench Madueke this time. So
yeah.
he's of no use at right wing, and probably we have to
No,
start.
but honestly, when I was doing some, like I wanted to do some homework before, I thought this was more going to be on the Leicester game, and I did some homework. And I was surprised to see, we all know that Jackson and Palmer have this partnership of sorts. But do you know who's created the most chances between teammates in the entire league this season? It's actually Palmer and Madueke. Palmer has created 12 for Madueke. Madueke has created 5 for Palmer. 17 is the highest
Wow.
number. That's higher than Jackson and Palmer, which is what we can directly see because of the pass link up and whatever. This season, they've actually been quite good together. So I guess Maresca, like you said earlier, he's a disciplinarian, he's a numbers guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
probably just looking at that. If I were you guys, I totally get it. Bench the guy. Too much attitude. Like one crazy game at Wolves, and he thinks he's like Vinicius or something. So that has to change. Like you can't just pretend and think it's going to be that easy. Neto's playing so well both sides. He's actual competition for him over there, but he's not doing it. So there is something that's clicking. Maddock is just it's something about he's going to do 2 or 3 things every game that's going to piss his teammates off and the fans off. That much is very clear. So what is that has to be fixed is that's what the coach has to figure out.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sancho might actually be the best left winger we have currently. I personally feel that looking at the 3 games that he started at least. Yeah, and he will also quickly realize that Maresca is a no nonsense guy. The way he sold Sterling off is an example of that. So,
Yeah. But is he back this game
Yes,
week?
he's
Is
back.
Yes,
Sancho
yeah,
he's
back?
back. Only Sir has gone to hospital, James.
What is it with Reece James? The man oozes talent, but he just can't stay off the hospital bed, can he?
Yeah.
I think what
Has to
what
be
I
wrapped in
heard
bubble wrap. What is the injury? What is the injury
It's
this
from
time
what
not.
around?
It's a precautionary hamstring. That's what they've
Minor
said. It's not, it could be. It's a precaution. You know, before he gets injured, only they've stopped. Don't play. It's a slow path back for somebody with his history. He's our own Luke Shaw. To treat him
Yeah,
with caution.
absolutely. For someone,
It's sad. I
yeah,
today I read somewhere Chelsea's Luke Shaw is James. I'm like, oh, sucks, but it's true. It's getting to that point now.
yeah,
It
with
makes
higher
sense.
wage.
absolutely.
How much is Shaw
Yeah,
earning?
probably.
250K.
I think 250. Yeah, I think would
250
be right.
for
Yeah.
Luke Shaw.
Uh,
No, I was talking about James.
No, for Luke Shaw,
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Shaw is making 200 as well. I'm not sure, but I
David
wouldn't be
Moyes signing.
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah, the
Oh my
sad part is
God.
yeah,
Yeah, he bought it right away from
yeah,
Saints, Southampton.
yeah. All of the exodus from Southampton was going to Liverpool, and then one person who came to United was Luke
He was
Shaw.
bought very
Yeah,
early in
but
1819.
yeah, and he had that horrible injury
Yes, yes,
against was it
yes.
PSV? I think
Yeah.
it
so
was PSV.
Disasi
Horrible
has to
injury.
start right back
Oof.
again.
Oh no, man.
No.
Don't piss
Gusto
me
and
off, bro.
Kukure, both are available.
Okay. No,
I think
he's
Gusto will anyways play that to overlap over.
yeah, right.
That's some shit thing, which he's not good at.
I'm telling you, Fofana is a better right back than Disasi. Disasi
Oh
is
yeah, for sure.
horrendous. It's like me or you playing right back.
There's that new academy guy, no?
We
Josh.
might get away with
Twing. You
you
might
know
get away with.
with it against Leicester with playing Disasi at right back, but the next game after Leicester is Aston Villa.
If you playing Disasi right back, I think they have a couple of interesting wingers. Leicester, it could be
Navidity.
tricky. If I think that
Yeah,
Mavdidi is good, that even the backup to him, Fatawu, I think
Fatawu got
his
an
name is. I don't
ACL
know how it's
injury.
spelled.
He's out for the
Yeah.
season.
Oh, okay. Is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's only Mavididi.
But Mavdidi is pretty
And,
tricky to
and their
handle.
star man.
But anyways, talking about the defense as well, there were some people or some parts of the Chelsea fan base who were a bit unhappy with how Sanchez has performed, at least for the last few games. It's very interesting because he has the highest save percentage in the league, but only two clean sheets. I'm sure the defense is associated with that. But against Arsenal, we see a lot of times he has this aspect of him giving the ball to the opposition directly. Is that how you guys feel as well? Is there some little tweak that he has to bring into his game, or is it how Chelsea play from the back that these pitfalls are bound to happen?
um, I
I
feel okay. Shall
go
I
ahead,
go
go ahead. No,
first?
go for it. Go for
No, I think he takes away the confidence from the defense, is what I feel. He might have a great save percentage, but it's the passes which he gives away to the opposition, like you said. And you never feel secure when he's on the ball and when opposition is pressing him. He always has a mistake in him. Like
Hmm.
he will give the ball away once, at least once a game or something like that. And sometimes it leads to a goal and sometimes he gets away with it, but yeah, he can't be a permanent keeper for a top four side for sure.
True. I mean, I agree with what you said there. Sanchez is definitely not going to be the reason why we did something great this year. Is
Yeah,
something we can tell in confidence. But he is also the definition of a mixed bag.
yeah.
If you notice all the performances where we somehow snatched a draw against Nottingham Forest or
Mm.
Arsenal or even the United game,
Even against Bournemouth,
even
as
against
you
Bournemouth, there have been notable instances where it's probably saved by accident or saved with his head or shoulder or something. It's definitely something he's done. Positioning was right, he has saved it. Now, if he didn't have this air of negativity and that mistake in him thinking, people would have been like, wow, he's the spine of the team and all of that. So like how Soham said, there is that. I don't think he's sure of himself. And as a keeper, you're doing so much more than just your saves. You let your backline breathe easier, which he's not doing. But he's come up big in terms of some saves. But the most interesting thing here is the coach, the board, the entire youth development part of Chelsea's backroom staff, all of them have so much belief in Sanchez. At least those are the reports I've been reading, which is just sad to hear. I hope they are right, but it just seems like a very long shot. I don't see the growth curve will have to be very steep for us to be sold on the fact that, oh, Sanchez, we were wrong about him the whole time. He has to come up very big, 15 games, 17 games, clean sheets, something like that, which is not going to happen. So, yeah, it's just proper mixed bag. I don't think maybe at the end of the season we'll be able to finally judge him for once and for all.
Yeah, I don't know why we sent Petrovic on loan.
He's not that good with his feet. So that's very
Yeah,
clear. Maresca is looking at that distribution guy. Petrovic is he won't do anything wrong. That's his.
yeah.
His actually biggest strength of why he started last second half of last season is because not because he's great. He's better than Sanchez.
Mm.
That is the only qualification that he actually showed up.
Can he
But
come back in January? Is there any?
not possible. Huh?
No,
Not-
Not,
he's here for one year loan. I think he won't even come back to Chelsea, man. That's the end of it.
that's sad.
I
Yeah,
think we have two upcoming goalkeepers. Who is that Penders, which we
Mike
signed,
Penders.
and
Slovenia.
Slolina. Yeah, all Slolina got sold. No?
Sold or loan? I'm
Loan.
not sure.
Okay. So Sanchez is the guy for next 2 3 years. So bear with it, guys.
Okay, and then one final point before we go to the other games. There's always an air of uncertainty as to why Nkunku does not start in the Premier League. Is it a tactical thing? Is he still not up to the pace of the Premier League? Because he does come off the bench, but for the price tag that you got him, and he's one of your star signings, he doesn't start in the Premier League.
So
Just wanted to understand
it's a
why that
very
is.
clear reason why he doesn't start. Honestly, he's probably one of the best finishers in the team. He's still our top scorer with 10 goals already this season. And the point of why he doesn't start is purely the system at Chelsea.
Yeah,
Right now, we have that auxiliary number 9 who needs to hold up play. It's not two forwards linking together. So, technically speaking, Nkunku can play in Palmer's position right now if he has to enter the current system. He's not starting because Jackson is just so much better at that Nkunku at the hold up, link up, and running behind the defensive lines. He's terrible, 3 times worse than Nkunku when it comes to finishing. But he's giving others a chance to finish. Especially if you notice
Yeah.
one of those goals that Palmer scored against Brighton, the first half 4-0. Jackson had three chances one on one. Final one on one, he screwed and he just somehow passed it to Palmer and put it into an empty net. Like it is actually people celebrated like it's Jackson assist, but dude didn't know how to finish three one on ones is terrible. Just honestly terrible. But he's coming up. He's not like a Sanchez case where last year also he was bad. This year also we don't know what to expect. Jackson has been coming up big time, but obviously nowhere close to how potent and lethal Nkunku is, and that's what people really miss. That's what we paid the price tag for. But given the number of system changes that we have right now, and the fact that Palmer is playing world class level, it's just bad timing for Nkunku in terms of the system that we've employed right now.
yeah. I think you summed it up very well. He doesn't suit Maresca's style of play. To be frank, I feel, and I think that Felix is higher up in the pecking order than Nkunku. He's even if he wants to start two attackers there, he I think will start Felix and Palmer together, which he has spoken of in one of the press conferences as well. It doesn't look like a very bright path forward for Nkunku, at least in the Premier League. He'll keep
Yeah.
playing in the Conference League and he'll keep scoring goals there, but yeah,
But there
not
might
much.
be a small silver lining for Nkunku because Jackson is now on 4 yellow cards. There is
Right,
no way he's making up to 19 game weeks without picking up the fifth one.
for
And at the
sure.
same time, we have busy Christmas period coming up. So
Yeah.
it won't be difficult to say Jackson gets 60%, Nkunku gets 40% of the minutes up top.
I just hope he
So
doesn't pick up a yellow card in the Leicester game. I hope Jackson plays against Villa at least.
yeah, that's a tough
Yeah.
game. In fact,
Yeah.
it wouldn't, even though I own Jackson in my FPL team, which we'll get to later, it wouldn't be the worst thing if Nkunku started tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jackson, keep him fresh.
Mhm.
You never know.
What, Ashwanth, you are drinking already? Weekend hasn't even started.
What to do if you support Chelsea and Sanchez is your goalkeeper? You don't have a choice.
I have a choice before uploading this to YouTube. Is this suitable for kids? Clearly, I shall say this is not suitable for
Well,
kids.
And
it is
that's
a
water. And it's
that's
water.
water. Yeah,
What
Nah, nah.
but
It has been cleared, folks. People who are watching this video, it has been cleared. That is water. Yes. So,
So, anyways, talking
perfect.
about
Great.
Nkunku, I just want to make one point. Is better of behind the striker. So, not as a striker. So, he's good in supplying or to the striker, to the wingers. So, that's his greatest trait. But with Palmer coming now, his chances has been very much trimmed. So, that I think when Palmer became a success in Chelsea in last year at this time. I think at that time he lost his confidence. He was always getting injured, and that plus Palmer taking his place. Where before we got Nkunku, the year before we actually signed him, I think he was meant to be a great success at Chelsea because we all hoped that he'll be the best upcoming CAM for Chelsea. So he had that hopes with, and then he got injured, and then later we signed Joe Felix, and then with Palmer getting his this one. So if you combine all this, I think personally or mentally he has, I don't know. He has probably lost it, but he has not lost it. So that's there. So Maresca is managing very good, giving him some minutes in UECL as a striker, not as a CAM. So to score goal, so that he will get some confidence. So that's there, but I don't know how he will take it up.
Yeah, just from an outsider perspective, the amount of fee that you guys paid and what he came in to do at Chelsea versus the amount of minutes that he's getting. Obviously, as you guys said, he was injured and it took a bit of time for him to come into the team. It's just kind of weird whether if he is happy himself to play this bit part role in Chelsea, where when he was probably brought in to play the main man role,
Mhm.
but anyways, quick predictions on this game. Let's start with Ashwanth Soham and then Amok. Their way to Leicester.
I'd say 3-1 Chelsea. Only because Chelsea can't keep a clean sheet, but the team should be fresh for this new run. So I'd say 3-1 Chelsea.
Um,
Perfect.
I'll probably go with 2-1.
Fuck.
Like,
I had predicted 2-1, but okay.
yeah, I feel
Yes.
Leicester will have an 11-man defense, and Chelsea may struggle to break it down. Although Maresca knows the team inside out, he's going to. He said he's going to try a few things differently. Um, so yeah, I think I'll probably go with 2-1.
So I'll go with 2-0 because I saw him stole my prediction. So
Quick consensus on Leicester then. Do you guys think they'll stay up? Ashwant?
I'd say there's still time. Honestly, it's actually no. I want to retract that. I don't think Leicester's going to stay up this season. I don't want to sit on the fence, primarily because we look at the main reason why I don't know much, but from what I know, if you look at the previous coach and the current coach, complete clash of philosophy. That
Mm,
and Mariska is a
Yeah.
front foot coach, and Steve
yeah,
Cooper is a back foot coach. So it's like Test and T20 using the same squad. How can you win?
yeah,
So I think they're going to find it difficult unless somebody like really steps up and they pull off
yeah,
something. But I don't see that happening.
yeah.
So
I
yeah, I
concur.
think
Yeah. Yeah, they lost Maresca. They lost their player of the season, KDH. And I think Mavi Didi scored pretty important goals for them last season. And he's struggling at the moment. I
yeah,
think he just has one goal in last 6, 7 games or something.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll find it really difficult to stay up. And I really don't believe they will.
There's one man who probably is keeping them up, Jamie
Oh,
Vardy on Red
for sure.
Bull. And probably he's
Yeah.
just, keeping
I
them
think he
up with
scores
important
tomorrow
goals
as
from
well.
time to
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, the
we
Probably,
one
yeah.
goal
also
I
don't
think I would bet on him.
Jordan Ayew as a super sub.
Hmm.
So
Yes. He's been scoring some very important goals very late in
Yeah.
games as well for the past two Premier League games. Great. That was all we have versus Leicester versus Chelsea. Finally, Ipswich versus Man United. McKenna versus Ruben Amorim. What can I say? It's going to be Ruben Amorim's first game managing United, and I don't think it's a straightforward game. I believe it will be tricky. Ruben Amorim is a darling of the media right now. There's a lot of hype. He's carried himself well. He's saying the right things in order to get the United fans excited. But as someone who has seen too many manager cycles for my liking, I am very pessimistic about this for a couple of reasons. One, there is you can be an up and coming manager and you can do very well for yourself in other clubs, but managing United is not for everyone. I think it's a beast. It has become a beast in its own. That is number one. Number two, I mean, I would have preferably liked Amorim to have a job at another league after Sporting and then probably come to United. But yes, that is up for debate as well. What do you guys think about the guy, and do you think he is the right
No,
man
I
to take
think you
United forward?
guys got a good manager.
Yeah.
So I think this was all a plan where I think Pep Pep had his one. I think he was about to leave City. So now with Amorim signing United, so City don't have an option. So they had to extend Pep's contract. So I think you got a good manager. But the players, as you said, so it's always there
Yeah.
with Rashford and with the brilliant players you guys have.
And
Rasmus Hojlund.
I think you come into the training ground, Anthony, and then you probably lost all hope of managing this club.
One training session with Anthony
And
is enough.
yes, it's horrible. Yeah. But anyways, it's going to be interesting because Ipswich are no pushovers themselves. McKenna knows the club very well, and we have been extremely kind to Ipswich by providing a 7-minute first training session of Amurim, wherein it's there for everybody to see. I know that the clubs employ analysts to watch tapes and stuff, but they don't have to do that. It's on the United website. You go to the website, you see how we are doing. One of the more important things in that website that you in the training session that you see are our players are finally learning how to run back. It's always we have this midfield donut, and then once the ball is played behind the back 1-2 and you're already in our box. But Amorim is now slowly starting to teach our players what it is to run back. So that is going to be interesting. And he's going to play a 3-4-3 system. So he's told that as well. So a lot of it is going to be very clear for Ipswich as well. But what I'm interested to see in that game is he said that he is going to allow United fans and everyone watching the game to see an idea. So I'm quite interested to see the system that he employs and which players he's going to play in that system, because as we know, I don't think certain players can play that system of three at the back, and that's going to be quite interesting. I've heard Amog from some sources that Mason Mount has been his early darling in the training sessions. That means to say tomorrow he'll be injured. So yeah,
Even if he plays, he won't be that Mason Mount. Thanks for 65 million, and you thank me for 40 million. That's it.
yeah, absolutely. The man can't string two games together. I don't know what it is. But did he at Chelsea have any one of these big injuries that is leading to
He
these
was one
smaller
of our
injuries, or
fittest,
has he always?
one of our
yeah,
fittest players.
he did have an injury towards the end, though.
Then we
But
sold him to United.
yeah, yeah.
Don't reveal the secrets.
Yes.
I think
But what do
he
you
lost
guys?
his confidence once Tuchel left. That's it.
See, I don't think would say. I know there is a lot of banter with United and all of that, but like you guys said, I have seen Amorim. He's already better than Ten Hag for me because he didn't utter something stupid like saying eras come to an end. His own era came to an end, and Ten Hag is out. So Amaram has handled himself well in that aspect. But as a fan who has seen more permanent managers come and go over the last few years than other people, we know for a fact how long it takes to like actually translate a system. Even
Yeah.
I'd say Maraska has been our best ever since the Potter time or Sari time, apart from Conte. Maresca has been the fastest to actually give his ideas to us. And even that took like at least 2, 3 games and a full preseason. I'm just assuming Amorim to have the same effect. Even a best case scenario, you guys need this busy period or at least the next 4 or 5 games to show some kind of this thing. So I know Amorim said the right things to get the fans excited to see what is his style tomorrow and all. United fans are going to see a lot
Yeah.
of basic things like how you said running back. All of those things are going to
Yeah.
seem massive. But in terms of his genuine style, have you guys watched that goal that Sporting scored, Gyökeres scored against Man City? The from kickoff where they just passed it
Yeah.
and Gyökeres
Yeah.
broke through the line.
That was
Yeah,
brilliant.
I was
Yeah.
floored. I was like, you can't do this and say you're coming to United. People are going to expect the
Yeah.
earth and the moon and everything together. It's going to take time. You before Hoyland makes a run like that and people actually do something about it. But in a way, it's a kind fixture run that United has right now. It's mixed. I think you have Ipswich now and you have two decent games.
I think we play Arsenal in the third in his third game, I think, if I'm not wrong, or his fourth game. We play Arsenal, and in that run, I think there is a run where we have City, Forest, and someone else. I think Villa. I think something like
Correct.
that.
It is good.
So
And so it is
this,
going to be, in a way, it's a good and a bad thing. You have these tough fixtures coming, fourth game, fifth game. It's going to make Amorim's team something. I would say people are over. What to say? I think people are actually correctly estimating this. There is only 4 points between third and 11th or 12th or something. So
correct.
genuinely, there is one international break where we finish third and go into that. We can't enjoy it. Why? Because we are barely ahead of the other guys behind us. If you think all Chelsea fans are like, "Whoa, we are the best," no, nobody's. At least the ones who have their head in the right place know for a fact that we are here for now. Like you need to still beat all the small teams. Yes, we have a good run coming up. We need to beat all these small teams, but United also are in very much in the race. Like it's all about how they keep the results and go about it. And with Van Nistelrooy, we could see the fact that you didn't have to change much. It was just the negativity that was the issue. And usually with all these aura-based managers, United do well. Tactical managers, ayo, that is too difficult. They can only follow aura.
Yeah,
So we have to see how
exactly.
Amarim gets the best out of both and brings it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very well put. As I said, I basically was making banter and underplaying it, but that's exactly all of the points that Man United fans should look at. I'm more interested to see how he gets the best out of players because this squad, to be honest, as much as banter we can have, is not a bad squad to have. I think there are some really good players in there. It's just a matter of how he can tune them up because there's always this myth, and it is true. I at least I believe that when players come to Man United, they're good, and at Man United, they become absolute rubbish, which cannot be the case. There has to be some sort of progression or growth, and I think that is
What
something
would
that
a
he can do. I think we
as
have the
since
players.
you're a big United fan, I wanted to ask you. The rest of us have only read about Amorim. I'm sure you've done a little more homework, being excited and all that. If you were to give like tomorrow's predicted lineup for Man United, and maybe in 5 games or 8 games, assuming you have all players fit, what would your team then look like in a 3-4-3 system? What would it be?
I think he's got the players to play that 3-4-3 system. My only question is I think it will depend a lot upon fitness of some of the key players. Like, for example, Luke Shaw could be a massive player in this system, either as a left wing back or as a left center back itself. But the issue is it's going to depend on availability. And I think another player, for example, Lenny Euro, the generational talent that we scuppered from Real Madrid, I think he is also a really good player to play. I think if you would ask me the 3-4-3 that I would play tomorrow, if everybody is fit,
No, no.
let's
I
say,
wanted to.
irrespective of
No, no.
availability.
That's why I asked the two questions. I wanted not one is not assuming everybody is fit. Current status.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Ipswich. If you
Yeah.
were Amaram, what would you pick? And maybe later when everybody is fit, ideal 11. So tomorrow's lineup.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Perfect. So I think with tomorrow, as to what I know, the back three that I would pick would be Evans, Delict, and Alessandro, as far as I know. That would be the back three. And
Evans playing
then the
right
wing
centre
back.
back.
Evans playing, unfortunately, or no, Evans just playing the middle of the
Central.
three.
Okay.
Yeah, central, because Delict could be the right center back. The problem with that is, as I again said, Delict and Martinez, they are very good at running in a straight line, but they're not good at channel defending. You ask them to run like this, they're not so good. But that is exactly why I feel like players like Shaw or Lenny Euro would be like better suited to be somewhere in that back three. That's difficult. I would play what I know. I think it would be Dallo and Mazur. Either way, Tanag used to play them anyways in the opposite, but I would like to see Dallo play right wing back, and Dallo play, sorry, yeah, Mazrai play left wing back. So that would be the wing backs. So then that allows three in the middle, two in the middle, I
In
think.
the middle.
Yeah, two in the middle. Getting used to it still. I think that two tomorrow could be Casemiro and Ugarte. Or yeah, I think it would be Casemiro and Ugarte, and then the front three would be Hoyland, Bruno, and Rashford. I think that would be the starting he would go back with. One of the changes, if he could make, is to have either Garnacho or Anthony play as one of the wing backs, since it's Ipswich. But I'm not worried if he does that, because both of them have defensive capabilities to run back. If it was Rashford playing that wing back role, I would say absolutely not, because the man doesn't run back. But this would be my starting lineup for tomorrow. But again, it's, I think he wants to play the system of 3-4-3, but I don't want him to be a Postacoglu as well. I want him to see and adapt if this is exactly how he wants to play, because probably at Sporting and at Casapia, for example, when he started off, he didn't start off with a 3-4-3. Results went south. He was going to quit, and then it came to a consensus where he said, okay, it would be better if you guys play 3-4-3. And the players came to him and said, we'll quite like this system. It feels that we are more in control and we don't concede many goals. And that is how he built this 3-4-3 system, moving forward from Casapia to Braga to Sporting, and now I guess that's what he wants to bring to United. But I don't want him to shoehorn on into this one system and shoehorn players into playing this system, but to be a bit more adaptable. I think he can be. I think he is not one of those obdurate coaches who will stick to his ego and play a certain system. I think he has that in him. But as I said, it's going to be an experiment. As I said, he said that to get United fans excited that we would see an idea, but literally, I think it would be that we have to see an idea. We have to see some games in order to understand and see how this team goes forward. But anyways, prediction time. So guys, Ipswich versus Man
So
United.
before
What do you
giving
think?
my prediction, just wanted to add a point. So you,
Sure, go for it.
I think you said it correctly. So I'll agree partially with you that 3-4-3 suits. He does have the players to play a 3-4-3, but I don't think that's your best 11 though. Like you were saying, there's an issue with playing Bruno and Garnacho, and I wouldn't play Bruno on one of the wings. All right, he's more effective centrally,
Not at all.
and United have
Yeah,
been struggling for goals before the last two games against Ruud van Nistelrooy, with Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think he can play his comfortable system since it's his first game, but I think he'll eventually change it pretty soon, I guess, as he
yeah,
adapts more better to the league.
yeah,
And also, I
yeah,
think Amorim is probably one of the best managers you could have had in this from among the managers who are available right at this in the middle of the season. And as a rival, after a long time, I would say I'm scared slash unhappy that you guys landed Amorim.
to be honest, I was one of the few people who wanted Tuchel to take over. I felt he is someone who's got that experience. It's about the experience of managing big
Right,
egos,
right.
big clubs, big
Yeah.
expectations. So that is why I felt Tuchel
No,
was the best.
he wasn't. That's why I
Yeah.
said from among the
Yeah,
best.
exactly. He was,
Yeah,
when Ten
yeah,
Hag was going through a
I
bad
guess.
phase. He was,
Ten Hag
but he
wasn't
chose
sacked also
England.
at that point.
Exactly, exactly, and that is why I felt Tuchel could have been. But I'm not gonna lie, I am
Yeah.
excited. And but the thing about United fans is it's very easy to get us excited. If a player runs back to defense, we are excited because we don't see that often, and that is what I think Amorim needs to change. That the ordinary things that all football
Mm.
teams do. fingers putting in a cross, defenders running back. These small things you show us, and we are more
Yeah,
than happy. I think, and the expectation should be to do more than just that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I think that is what he needs to change. Okay,
yeah,
coming back
yeah.
to predictions then. I believe it will be 2-1 to United. I don't think we have many goals to score. 2-1. It could even be 1-1, but I hope because he's starting his career at United, it will be 2-1.
I think Amorim is finding his way. He will take some time to establish his system. And McKenna has played pretty well against Spurs in the last game. I think they got their first win. They will be very high on confidence. He's had quite a bit of time to
Yeah.
prepare for the United game as well. Yeah,
Absolutely. That
yeah,
scares the shit
yeah.
out of me, actually. He's got the entire international break, and I don't think most of his
Correct.
team goes out to play
Absolutely. Yeah,
international
yeah.
anyways.
So I think just because of that, I will go with 2-2.
Nice.
I think
I'm very glad that you think we scored 2 goals, anyways.
I think it's a classic 1-1 purely because, like he said, Ipswich has had the entire time to prepare, but at the same time, you're talking about Ipswich's talent. They'll have to play that well to outclass United's average
Yeah.
day, and United, they are decent at the back, resolute, and they've had clean sheets and all of that. I think it's gonna net it out. It'll be 1-1. I don't see United scoring two. I don't see Ipswich also scoring two. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 1-1 draw, or dare I say even a 1-0 Ipswich win, but that'll just be sad. At this point, I am supporting United a little bit. Somebody has to support. 1-1 draw.
Amog,
Probably it's 1-0 United, I guess.
Yeah.
1-0 United.
I think we won't score more than 1 or 2 goals, but that's on point. Perfect, guys. This has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so much, Soham and Ashwant, for joining us on the pod. It has been absolutely lovely having you with us, and we're very grateful for sharing your thoughts and insights on the upcoming game week, but also on your Fantasy Premier League exploits. Thank you so much. As I said, this has been so insightful. I personally, me and Amok, probably we enjoyed having a lot of discussions, lot of perspectives, and it's always nice to talk about football after a really nice break. Also, when all the other teams have not played, we're a bit free to talk about all the teams. And for the viewers, as always, please do share and subscribe to our content on Corner Football Pod. We will be coming back soon with another episode and new friends of the channels, and sometimes we might revisit with some old friends of the channel as well. So until then, take care, be safe, and be aware of any corners taken quickly.
Bye.
Bye.